Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make another Spider-Man statue. This time, I'm going to be showing you how to make the black suit version of Spider-Man. I did the original version a long time ago along with Venom and Carnage. I will leave links for each one of those in the card system and in the description below just in case you missed them at the time and you'd like a whole collection. But for now, if you want to make the black suit version, here's what you're going to need, and I don't even have my plans on my screen. You're going to need some dark blue wool, and some cyan wool, and finally grab yourself some white wool, and those are the only three materials that you're going to be needing. By the way, if you want to, you could substitute the dark blue for black, and you could substitute the cyan for dark blue, but that's completely up to you. However, once you have these three colours right here, and once you've figured out where you want to make him, I'll be making him right here, you're going to want to kick off Spider-Man with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor. Do one dark blue, then one cyan, then four dark blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, one cyan, then one dark blue, and that is going to be the base row of the front of your Spider-Man statue. Once you've got that row taken care of, this is what you want to do for the next three rows. So building directly on top, you now want to copy this base row and do it 3 more times. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we've just got to fill in the dark blue. That's right, the 4 first rows of your Spider-Man statue are all identical. So once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the next row. So for the next row, going from left to right, as will most of this statue be built, going from left to right, do 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 2 cyan, 2 dark blue, 2 cyan, 1 dark blue. For the next row, do 3 cyan, 2 dark blue, 3 cyan. For the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan. What you now want to do for the next 4 rows is 3 dark blue, 2 cyan, 3 dark blue. You want to have this row 3 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, just directly on top. So you want to take that first row, add 3 more directly on top of it, for a total of 4. I realize that the way I explained that might be a little tricky. 1 plus 3, 4. You want to have that 4 times. For the next row, do an entire row of dark blue wool. And here's what we're going to do. Once you have this row of dark blue wool, you now want to extend it out from the left and right hand side with this sequence of blocks. Do 2 cyan, then 2 dark blue. And you want to do the exact same thing on either side. So on the left and right hand side, do 2 cyan, 2 dark blue. And what we're basically doing here is we're just marking out where the bottom of the arms are going to be. Since this suit kind of all melds in together, we're just going to make this out just so that we can, well, make out the arms a little later on, just a little bit easier. Once you've got that taken care of, we're now going to get back to building up the rest of the torso on top of these 8 middle dark blue blocks that we have right here. So for the second row of the torso, do an entire row of dark blue wool, like so. For the next row, do 3 dark blue, 2 white, 3 dark blue. For the next 2 rows, do 2 dark blue, 4 white, 2 dark blue. And like I said, that's for the 2 rows, so do it once, then do it again. For the next row, do 3 dark blue, 2 white wool, 3 dark blue. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 1 dark blue, 2 white, 1 dark blue, 2 white. For the next row, do 2 cyan, 4 white wool, 2 cyan. For the next row, do an entire row of white wool. For the next row, do 2 dark blue, 1 white, 2 cyan, 1 white, 2 dark blue. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 white wool. And for the final row of the torso, just do an entire row of dark blue wool. And what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this. This is the entire front of your Spider-Man statue minus the arms, which is exactly what we're going to do next. Once you've reached this point right here, you now want to come all the way over to the right hand side of your statue, and we're now going to build on top of these 4 blocks that we have right here that we marked out earlier. Aren't you glad we did it? I am. So for the second row of the arm, and we're just going to be building this in the exact same fashion that we built the rest of the statue. For the second row, starting from the left hand side, do 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue. For the next 2 rows, do 2 solid rows of dark blue, 1 and 2, just like that. For the next 2 rows, do 2 dark blue, 2 cyan, and like I said, that's for 2 rows, so 1 and 2. For the next row, do 2 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan. For the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 2 cyan. For the next row, do 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 3 cyan. And for the final row of the arm, do 2 dark blue, 2 cyan to give you something which should look exactly like that. Once you've got that taken care of on the one side of your Spider-Man statue, guess what? We now have to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So moving over onto the opposite arm now, on top of this first row, going from left to right, do, for the next row, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue. Followed by 2 rows of dark blue, that's 1 and 2. Just like that. For the next 2 rows, do 2 cyan, 2 dark blue, so 1 and 2. Just like that. For the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 2 cyan. For the next row, do 2 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue. For the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue. For the next row, do 3 cyan, 1 dark blue. And for the final row of the arm, do 2 cyan, 2 dark blue to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And this is exactly what you want to have for the entire front of your Spider-Man statue. Once you guys have reached this point right here, it's now time for us to move around back. So come all the way around to the back of your statue and come all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. Take out your dark blue wool and take each bottom corner of the statue and extend each corner out of the back of your statue by 3 with your dark blue like this. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, just like so. You then want to connect each one of those third blocks together to form a U shape like this, and what we're now going to do is just build up the entire back of our Spider-Man statue exactly how we just built up the front. So focusing on top of these 8 back blocks that we have right here, we first of all want to do 2 rows of 8 dark blues, so that's 1 and 2 directly on top of that back row, like so. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 4 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue. For the next row, do 3 cyan, 2 dark blue, 3 cyan. For the next row, do 1 dark blue, 2 cyan, 2 dark blue, 2 cyan, 1 dark blue. For the next 2 rows, do 2 solid rows of dark blue, so that's 1 and 2. For the next row, do 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue. For the next 2 rows, do 1 dark blue, 2 cyan, 2 dark blue, 2 cyan, 1 dark blue. And like I said, that's for 2 rows, so once you've got the first one taken care of, do the exact same thing just above it. And for the next row, just do an entire row of dark blue wool. And once you've hit this point right here, where you've just built that single row of dark blue wool, this is now easy. Guess why? So, once you've reached this point right here, all we have to do the entire rest of the back of the statue is just copy exactly what we have on the front of the statue, row for row. So what you quite literally want to do is look directly forward at the front of your statue, and from this point onwards, just copy exactly what you did on the front of your statue. I'm not entirely sure why, but apparently the designers of the skin got ever so slightly lazy when designing this particular skin, and they decided to make most of the back look exactly like the front. So all we have to do, and quite literally the easiest way to do this, rather than just copy exactly what we did on the front, rather than me just go through it all again, is just look directly forward and block for block in the exact same place, do exactly what you did on the front. And that's exactly what I'm doing for myself now. There is absolutely no plans required. And what you want to end up with for the back so far is something that should look exactly like that. And that is exactly what you want to have. Once you've reached this point right here, all we have to do now is obviously the backs of the arms. Same story with the backs of the arms as the back of the statue itself. All you have to do to complete the backs of the arms is just look directly forward at what you did on the front of your statue and copy them onto the back. That is all you have to do, guys. All you have to do, just literally look at what you did on the front, just copy it for yourselves, and you won't run into any problems. So I'm just doing that for myself now. That is arm number 1 complete, looking good to me. Arm number 2, getting this one taken care of. Here we go. Few rows of blue, and we've got a lot of cyan to add. Going to work on this second arm. Haven't much of it left to do now. Bit of cyan here, dark blue here, here, and here. And once you finish that, you want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. And this is the entire back of your statue. Once you guys have reached this point right here, all we have to do now are the sides of our statue, and we also have to do the head. Oh yeah, I forgot about the head. Is Spider-Man supposed to have a head? I don't even know. Once you've reached this point right here, you now want to move all the way over onto the side of your statue and come all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. Unfortunately for us, the side of the statue is ever so slightly more complicated than the front and the back. So we're first of all going to build up on top of this left block that we have here, then we're going to do the same thing and build up on top of this right one. So on top of this left dark blue block that we have here, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 dark blue, 3 cyan, then make the rest of the row dark blue wool. So that's how this is going to work, guys, and it's going to work the exact same way for the arms as well. So that's what you want for row number 1. Row number 2, you can actually just make completely dark blue. So that is what you want to have for row number 2 of the leg. Very simple. Moving on up to the hands. First of all, we've just got to fill the bottom of the hands in with their respective colours. First, you want to do 2 rows of cyan, then 2 rows of dark blue, just like so. And now we're going to build up on top of this left block right here. So the sequence of blocks that you want to do is this. Do 3 cyan, 1 dark blue, 3 cyan, 1 dark blue, 3 cyan. Follows a very simple pattern, just like so. Now for the second row. So for the second row, do 4 cyan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, then make the rest of the arm cyan wool, just like so. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move all the way up to the top of the shoulder, and for the top of the shoulder, you just have to fill the top of it in with cyan wool. Just come in by a row of 3 with your cyan wool, 1, 2, 3, coming in just like so, and that is all you have to do for the top of your shoulder. So what you want to end up with for the entire side of your statue so far is something that should look exactly like this. Nice and simple. Once you've got that taken care of on the one side, we now want to go ahead and move all the way over to this opposite side and do the exact same thing here. And I do quite literally mean the exact same thing. So all you have to do to complete this side of your statue is look directly forward at that other side that we've literally just done. It's the same procedure that we used on the back of the statue as well. So just look directly forward at that opposite side of the statue and just copy exactly what you did from that opposite side, and that is all that we have to do. So just look over there there. A little bit of a further distance this time round, but I'm sure that you guys will have no trouble doing it whatsoever. I mean, that's how I'm doing it, so I imagine if I can do it, you guys can do it. Then we fill in the top of the shoulder with cyan wool. Come in by 3, no less. You can come in by more, however. If you come in by less, you'll just have holes in your statue, quite frankly. That's all that will happen. So come in by at least 3. Whether you're cyan, you can come in by more. And as you guys can see, that second side of the statue is absolutely identical to the first side of your statue. So once you've got both sides of the statue completely taken care of, we can now move on to the final part, which is Spider-Man's head. So come all the way around to the front of your statue and come all the way up to the top of the torso. Take out your dark blue wool, and on top of the 8 middle blocks of the torso, do a row of 8 dark blue, just like that, on top of the top row. You now want to take this row of 8 dark blue and do 2 additional rows in front of it, so 1 and 2 coming out in front of your statue, like that. We're now going to build up on top of this second row. So we're first going to build Spider-Man's face, then we'll build the rest of his head. So I'm just going to do a little bit of quick math, guys, hang on. Okay, so on top of this second row of dark blue wool that you just placed, do 2 solid rows of dark blue. So that's 1 and 2, just like so. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 dark blue, 2 white wool, 2 cyan, 2 white wool, 1 dark blue. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 1 cyan, 2 dark blue, 1 cyan, 2 white wool. For the next row, do 2 cyan, 4 dark blue, 2 cyan. And for the final 2 rows of the head, just do 2 solid rows of dark blue. So that'll be 1 and 2 stacked directly on top of each other. And that is Spider-Man's face. That is his mask. So once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the rest of the head. So come all the way around to the back of the head, take this first initial row of 8 dark blue and extend it, coming over the back of your statue by 2 with your dark blue. I explained that poorly, actually. What you want to do, take out your dark blue, extend it all the way over the back of your statue until it overhangs 2 rows. That's where I got the 2 from. So you want the back of the head to overhang the back of the statue by 2 rows, exactly how the front of the head overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows. You guys can see exactly what we've done here. What you now want to do, once you've added all of those rows of dark blue, is take the 2 back corners of the back of the head, raise them up so they are equal height with the front of the head, and then connect them to the front of the head. And you'll also want to connect them together as well. The aim of the game here is to make a big giant cube shape, like this. And once you've formed this cube shape, we now have the fun of filling this thing in with dark blue wool. So that's exactly what I'm doing, guys. I'm filling this thing in with dark blue wool. And once we have filled this in with dark blue wool, we'll actually have completed our statue. This is the last step, guys. This is all we have to do from this point onwards. So once the head is filled in, we will have nothing left to do. We'll be able to take a nice little bit of a tour of our Spider-Man, and then we can take a nice little look at him. We can contemplate life, and we can see why Spider-Man didn't turn into Venom. So we're just going to fill that in, and there we go. So now that he's completely filled in, let's take a little bit of a look, shall we? So once you guys have reached this point right here, hopefully if everything went well for you, hopefully if you've managed to follow this tutorial 100% of the way through, you will end up with something that should look exactly like this. This is your Spider-Man statue 100% complete, looking ever so slightly menacing, looking ever so slightly angry. He doesn't look as menacing as the Venom statue that I did once upon a time, or the Carnage statue, 2 of my favourite statues, by the way. I do love Spider-Man. I don't know whether I've said it in video enough times, and I don't know whether it's a dead giveaway that my default skin is Spider-Man, but he's definitely my favourite superhero. Absolutely. So hopefully you guys like this skin as much as I do. I am going to be doing more Spider-Man skins. I've shot myself in the foot by saying skins, more skins, but I'm going to do at the very least 1 more, maybe more if you guys twist my arm, and I'm going to be doing, let me see if I can find it very quickly for you guys. We'll have time. So if everything goes well, and if you guys want it, and it seems as though you did because I mentioned it in another video and you guys seem to like it, I'm also going to do the Iron Spider skin, which is this one right here. Looks very cool, kind of like Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus mixed with the Flash. It's a nice little trio with a mashup. And I might be doing that, probably sometime soon after you see this Spider-Man skin itself. So, if you guys like this, and let me know about the Iron Spider skin, if you guys like this, please give it a like, please give it a share. If you want to see more Spider-Man statues, feel free to check out the card system, and the links below in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, I hope you managed to make it, and I will see you in the next video.